Spetsnaz abbreviation for THTH 3/4 TH to the first NTHTH degree NTHTH micron NTHTH degree TH noeth 1/2 TH 3/4 TH cubed TH 3/4 TH 1/2 TH degree THTH 1/2 TH degree NTH micron TH 1/2 THN, TR. Voyska speциального naznacheniya, pronounced vřejsʻka spec squared et sal squared ni unregistered trademark v unregistered trademark ni unregistered trademark zneet degree Celsius en squared ej unregistered trademark is an umbrella term for special forces in Russian. Historically, the term referred to special military units controlled by the Military Intelligence Service GRU. It also describes special purpose units, or task forces of other ministries in post-Soviet countries. Etymology: the Russian acronyms Spetsnaz and OSNAZ, both meaning special purpose, are general terms used for a variety of special operations forces. They are syllabic abbreviations typical of early Soviet-era Russian, although many s̆henఝɪjə and internal troops units used особого назначения in their full names. Spetsnaz later referred to special purpose or special operations forces, and the word's widespread use is a relatively recent, post-perestroika development in Russian language. The Soviet public used to know very little about their country's special forces until many state secrets were disclosed under the glasnost policy of Mikhail Gorbachev during the late 1980s. Since then, stories about Spetsnaz and their supposedly incredible prowess, from the serious to the highly questionable, have captivated the imagination of patriotic Russians, particularly in the background of the decay in military and security forces during perestroika and the post-Soviet era. A number of books about the Soviet military intelligence special forces, such as 1987's Spetsnaz, The Story Behind the Soviet SAS by defected GRU agent Viktor Suvorov, helped introduce the term to the Western public as well. In post-Soviet Russia, Spetsnaz became a colloquial term as special operations, from police raids to military operations in internal conflicts, grew more common. Coverage of these operations, and the celebrity status of special operations forces in state-controlled media, encouraged the public to identify many of these forces by name, SOBR, Alpha, Viteaz, and so forth. The term Spetsnaz has also continued to be used in several other post-Soviet states such as Belarus, Ukraine and Kazakhstan for their own special operations forces. In Russia, foreign special operations forces are also known as Spetsnaz. Timeline: the concept of using special tactics and strategies was originally proposed by Russian military theorist Mikhail Svechnikov, who envisaged the development of unconventional warfare capabilities to overcome disadvantages faced by conventional forces in the field. Its implementation was begun by the grandfather of the Spetsnaz, Elias Darinov. During World War II, the Red Army reconnaissance and sabotage detachments were formed under the supervision of the 2nd Department of the General Staff of the Soviet Armed Forces. These forces were subordinate to front commanders. The infamous NKVD Internal Security and Espionage Agency also had their own special-purpose detachments, including many saboteur teams who were airdropped into enemy-occupied territories to work with the Soviet partisans. In 1950, Georgy Zhukov advocated the creation of 46 military Spetsnaz companies, each consisting of 120 servicemen. This was the first use of Spetsnaz to denote a separate military branch since World War II. These companies were later expanded to battalions and then to brigades. However, some separate companies and detachments existed with brigades until the dissolution of the Soviet Union. The Spetsnaz included 14 army brigades, 2 naval brigades and a number of separate detachments and companies, operating under the main intelligence directorate and collectively known as Spetsnaz GRU. These units and formations existed in the highest possible secrecy, and were disguised as Soviet paratroopers or naval infantrymen by their uniforms and insignia. 24 years after the birth of Spetsnaz, the first counter-terrorist unit was established by KGB head Yuri Andropov. From the late 1970s through the 1980s, a number of special-purpose units were created in the KGB and the Ministry of Internal Affairs. During the 1990s, special detachments were established within the Federal Penitentiary Service and the airborne troops. Some civil agencies with non-police functions have created special units also known as spetsnaz, such as the Leaders Special Center and the Ministry of Emergency Situations. 2013 saw the creation of the Special Operations Forces of the Russian Federation encompassing all special military units in the Army and Navy. Soviet and Russian nomenclature. Soviet Ministry of Defense Special Forces, Army Spetsnaz Units, Naval Spetsnaz Units, 45th Guards Spetsnaz Regiment. State Security Special Forces, Special Operations Center, Alpha, Vimpel, Special Purpose Service, Regional FSB Special Forces, Barrier, defunct KGB units such as Cascade, Omega, Zenith, Special Purpose Regiment, Border Troops Special Units. Ministry of Internal Affairs Special Forces, Internal Troops Division of Operational Purpose and OBRON, Rus and Viteas, other internal troops special units, Militia Politsia Special Forces, Kadyrov Spetsnaz. Ministry of Justice Special Forces, independent regional detachments such as Saturn. Soviet and Russian Military Special Forces. The elite units of the Soviet Armed Forces and Armed Forces of the Russian Federation were formally controlled, for the most part, by the Military Intelligence GRU under the General Staff. They were heavily involved in secret operations and training pro-Soviet forces during the Cold War and in the wars in Afghanistan during the 1980s and Chechnya during the 1990s and 2000s. Since 2010, as a result of the 2008 military reforms, GRU Special Forces came under the control of the ground forces, being directly subordinated to commanders of combined strategic commands. The Russian airborne troops includes the 45th Guards Spetsnaz Regiment. Most Russian military special forces units are known by their type of formation and a number, similar to other Soviet or Russian military units. Two exceptions were the ethnic Chechen special battalions Vostok and Zapad that existed during the 2000s. Below is a 2012 list of special purpose units in the Russian Armed Forces, Russian Ground Forces, Western Military District, 2nd Spetsnaz Brigade, 16th Spetsnaz Brigade. Southern Military District, 10th Spetsnaz Brigade, 22nd Guards Spetsnaz Brigade, 346th Spetsnaz Brigade, 25th Spetsnaz Regiment. Central Military District, 3rd Guards Spetsnaz Brigade, 24th Spetsnaz Brigade. Eastern Military District, 14th Spetsnaz Brigade. Russian Airborne Troops, 45th Guards Spetsnaz Regiment. Russian Navy, 442nd Naval Reconnaissance Spetsnaz Point, 420th Naval Reconnaissance Spetsnaz Point, 431st Naval Reconnaissance Spetsnaz Point, 561st Naval Reconnaissance Spetsnaz Point. KGB and FSB Special Forces. The Center of Special Operations of the FSB is officially tasked with combating terrorism and protecting the constitutional order of the Russian Federation. The CSN-FSB consists of estimated 4,000 operators in 3 operative divisions, Department A, Department B, Special Purpose Service. CSN-FSB headquarters is a large complex of buildings and training areas, with dozens of hectares of land and scores of training facilities. The average training period for a CSN officer is about 5 years. Spetsnaz GRU is a counter-terrorist unit created in 1974. It is a professional unit, consisting of about 700 operators and support personnel in 5 operational detachments. Most are stationed in Moscow, with the remainder in 3 other cities, Krasnodar, Yekaterinburg and Khabarovsk. All Alpha operators undergo airborne, mountain and counter-sabotage dive training. Alpha has operated in other countries, most notably Operation Storm 333. Spetsnaz GRU B, or Vega, was formed in 1981, merging to elite Cold War-era KGB Special Arnitsa Euro Cascade and Zenith Euro, which was similar to the CIA's Special Activities Division and redesignated for counter-terrorist and counter-sabotage operations. It is tasked with the protection of strategic installations, such as factories and transportation centers. With its Alpha counterparts, it is heavily used in the North Caucasus. Vimpel has 4 operative units in Moscow, with branch offices in nearly every city containing a nuclear power plant. Little is known about the Special Purpose Service, but it participates in FSB special operations in the North Caucasus and guards government officials. With the Center of Special Operations and its elite units, many FSB Special Forces units operate at the regional level. These detachments are usually known as ROSN or ROSO, such as St. Petersburg's GRU or Murmansk's spetsnaz. The Foreign Intelligence Service, the former first chief directorate of the KGB, has its own top-secret special force known as Zalin, of which extremely little is known about, and which officially does not even exist. Soviet and Russian MVD Special Forces. The Ministry of Internal Affairs Spetsnaz includes a number of Russian internal troops paramilitary units to combat internal threats to the government, such as insurgencies and mutinies. These units usually have a unique name and official OSN number, and some are part of the ODON. OBR-on-VV special groups were deployed to Chechnya. The following is a list of internal troops OSNs in 2012. 7th OSN Rosych, 12th OSN Ural, 15th OSN Vyatik, 17th OSN Edelweiss, 19th OSN Ermak, 20th OSN, 21st OSN Tayfun, 23rd OSN Mekhl, 25th OSN Mercury, 26th OSN Bars, 27th OSN Ktspas, 28th OSN Ratnik, 29th OSN Balat, 33rd OSN Pizvit, 34th OSN 604th Center SN. In addition to internal troops, the MVD has Politsia police special forces stationed in nearly every Russian city. Most of Russia's special police officers belong to OMON units, which are primarily used as riot police and not considered an elite force unlike the SOB rapid response units consisting of experienced, better trained and equipped officers. The Chechen Republic has unique and highly autonomous special police formations, supervised by Ramzan Kadyrov and formed from the Kadyrovtsi, including the Kadyrov Regiment. Maroon Berets. Servicemen of Russian internal troops special forces, as well as officers of special police formations and members of special units of the FSIN and FSKN, may compete for the distinction of wearing the Krapovi Beret, awarded to the most professional, physically and morally fit sergeants and officers. Competitions are hosted twice a year by former VTS instructors. After preliminary physical fitness and shooting tests, the main competition includes a 12-kilometer cross-country run in full combat uniform, a 100m sprint, urban assault exercises, acrobatics, and a 12-minute freestyle sparring match with 3 opponents. Fewer than 10% of applicants pass the tests. References. Sources: Viktor Suvorov, Spetsnaz, The Story Behind the Soviet SAS, Hamish Hamilton, London 1987, David Searsby, Weapons and Tactics of the Soviet Army, Janes Publishing Company Limited, London, 1988, Carey Schofield, The Russian Elite, Inside Spetsnaz and the Airborne Forces, Green Hill, London, 1993, External links, Russian, official website of the Russian Interior Ministry Special Forces, Gentura RUA Euro Special Operations Forces, Russian, Internet portal of Russian Special Forces.